welcome to Signal Soundbytes. I'm Brandon Peña, managing editor of The Signal. So with me, I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi everybody, I'm Trey. I do things here.
Hello everybody, the name's Troylon Griffin II. You all know me as the bleeding guy, the loud guy, the theatrical guy, and now I am going by the name DJ Troylon Griffin II because I'm producing, making records, as Brandon heard a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be Little Griff though.
Oh, yeah, DJ Little Griff. What's up? Yo, yo, yo.
You can have multiple names.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
This
You
is
can
true.
rock multiple
Puff Daddy,
names.
P. Diddy, all those.
I mean,
Puff Griffy.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's
Puff
a good
Griffy.
one.
Griff Puffy.
Oh, Griff Puffy. I like that one.
All right. Well, while he determines what name he's going to be prominently known by, this episode we're going to be talking about net neutrality, the University of Houston Clear Lake's website usability, and also a new segment we're doing, Quick Take. So pretty much with that one, we're going to have 10 minutes to talk about 4 different topics. But first off, net neutrality. So net neutrality is the notion that internet service providers should treat internet traffic equally. The FCC is set to vote to repeal net neutrality rules December 14th, sparking protests nationwide, including one outside of the FCC building, which is going to be happening on December 13th. Former President Obama worked to get the strict net neutrality regulations approved in February 2015. Since taking office, President Trump named Ajit Pai as the new FCC chairman, who has stated, quote, "Under my proposal, the federal government will stop micromanaging the internet. Instead, the FCC would simply require internet service providers to be transparent about their practices so that consumers can buy the service plan that's best for them, and entrepreneurs and other small businesses can have the technical information they need to innovate." So, the opening question for this is, what are your thoughts on net neutrality and the potential for it to be repealed?
Hey,
There's a lot there with net neutrality.
there's a lot to break down. This has never been an easy topic, but
Yes.
this kind of thing has been coming up since SOPA and PIPA from several years ago. God, I mean, okay. I can see why you would want to sort of like deregulate, right? So deregulation has been shown to lead to new businesses, and it can break up these monopolies. Like when the energy companies were deregulated a few years ago, suddenly people had a lot more options as far as electric companies that they could go to, and it did help the market. However, this is not necessarily energy companies being deregulated. It's telecom being redefined as there's a specific word for this. But yeah, I think the idea of this repealing net neutrality is so that like the FTC will be able to protect consumers from nefarious telecom companies as opposed to the FCC. The only problem with that is that there's currently a lawsuit going on right now between the FTC and is it Verizon?
I believe it's Verizon.
I think it's Verizon. And that court case will have a significant impact that will determine how well the FTC can step in favor of consumers. So, man, it can never be an easy thing, can it? You can never just get a one-topic issue.
Well, one thing I'm, kind of questionable about is if net neutrality is repealed, doesn't that mean we're going to have to pay to use certain parts of the internet, or we can only use certain parts?
That is a possibility.
It depends on the service provider.
Yeah, so Comcast could hypothetically charge you more for your use of Netflix. Alternatively, they could offer you like a video streamer's package subscription, right? Where you pay for internet that has been specifically pipelined for Netflix traffic. Which, I mean, when you put it like that, it kind of makes sense. And I can see that being beneficial because suddenly you can open up the market to smaller companies that can say, we specialize in providing internet to video game streamers who do a lot of uploading and downloading. They do a lot of, cross-path data management. But on the other hand, Comcast can just start charging however much they want and can say, they could just throttle down your ability to view Netflix.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's the thing I'm questionable about. I mean, it really doesn't seem like there'd be that much of a benefit to, the common people if this was repealed. Because, I mean, think about it. Like, the state, we have in which we can access internet the way we do, at least in America. Like, it seems like a pretty good system to me. Like, doing this is gonna kind of change it and everything to where, you know, certain schools may not be able to even access internet on a daily basis and stuff like that. And it just really seems like, you know, the people that are trying to repeal this are more interested in the business side of it instead of the letting people of America be happy and fulfill their lives side of things and everything. So I'm a bit questionable about, you know, where they see the pros in all of this.
And like the grouping of it concerns me because it's like you're then like, what if I happen to have an interest in another thing? I can't access it unless I pay for it.
Exactly.
Pay for that package. So
I'm sorry, the court case is AT&T versus the
AT&T.
Yes.
Okay. So to me, that's, you know, crap. You know, to even think about is like if I happen to like Netflix and streaming services, but then I decide, you know what, taking up an interest in video gaming, but I have to pay for a completely different package. Now this is all like hypothetical, like this is possible things that may or may not happen. But in the event that it does, like, to me, that's crap. Because right now, you have the internet is open and you can go to any site you want to, anything. And
It's the Wild West.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing about the Wild West is that there's not really any rules or restrictions in place. And that goes on both sides of the fence. This is comparable, I'd say, to, you know, land and railroad barons. They could just... As soon as they laid down rail, you know, they had this sort of independently owned and operated land that was afforded to them. They can do whatever they want with it. They can build a town, they can wipe out a town, it doesn't matter. So I think if net neutrality is repealed, and it's not really like a law that's getting repealed either.
Yeah.
This was more like a set of guidelines and restrictions and definitions that's just getting altered. And, you know, the internet's only been around since, like, actively been around since 1994 for most people. So we're barely looking at, you know, it just got old enough to smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol. Like, come on, it's a young thing. But the Wild West is coming to an end. And, you know, I've had friends that have been saying that for years. The way that we use the internet today is not going to be the way that we're using the internet in the future. And
I mean, I think the way we're using the internet right now, I mean, it's working pretty well. I don't see why they have to try and, you know, because it seems like, you know, they're kind of trying to cut regulation. Well, in a way, if I feel like this is, you know, further dividing up and just causing more regulation, in my opinion, because, you know, we're going to have less rights to certain websites and stuff. It's going to be harder for us to access it. So at the end of the day, you know, whatever regulation's going on right now, it seems like one that's a just cause and everything.
No, it is interesting to think about. I'm certainly open to the idea of more competition in the telecom industry because most of us, if we're lucky, have two options of who we can have provide us internet. If we're unlucky, we only have one. In Nassau Bay, it's Comcast or bust. So, I don't know. Maybe, you know, by sacrificing our ability to have just an open and free, completely flat lane internet, maybe that'll open up the opportunity for competitive internet companies and competitive pricing, and maybe that will help in its own way. But I do agree that it's a tough topic, and Ajit Pai is approaching it from a very bad perspective, PR speaking.
But the vote will be going on December 14th with the FCC, which is, you know, it's just them. I think it's like a panel of like, what, how many, 5 or so?
Yeah.
Are there actually like lots of people on the FCC that want this to happen? Like, who wants this to happen?
It's
though?
very
Anybody close to a telecom company who could benefit would want this to happen. And that's most people. I don't know if you saw on Reddit recently, but there's like, my representative sold me out to the telecom lobby for so much money. My representative, Representative Babin, sold me out for, it was like $8,000 in campaign funds. So, you know, that's my value in this. But yeah, so it's really anybody who would benefit, and the people who would benefit don't care about spending $15 extra a month on internet access. They probably don't even understand how the internet works. which is a known fact.
Yeah.
Congress still doesn't know how the internet works. They have no idea what's going on.
How do they not know how the internet works?
Because they're all 70.
Well, this is definitely gonna be something that I would assume talk about more in depth probably next season
Yeah.
when it all gets settled and
We'll see if the world ends.
we'll see what happens.
See
But
if
moving on to UHCL's website usability. So following a proposal to revamp the UHCL website in 2015, the university launched the updated site on April 20th of this year. While praised for its overall attractiveness of the website, there has been criticism from students, faculty, and staff in regards to the usability and the content. The Signal conducted a survey online, and some of the overall impressions of the website included, quote, "It's a move in the right direction, but it still needs a lot of work. It's rather blocky and has an odd approach to their overall text content. The blue and green is nice, however, the green is still very overpowering," end quote. And also, quote, "Needs a lot of improvement in the navigation, and also graphics and diversity should be a part of the site," end quote. So what are your overall impressions of the site?
Okay,
Here's some stickering. Here's some stickering.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, I think I'm a bit of a biased person here because I'm a freshman, and you said that happened April 20th, which is
Yeah,
probably
so you
which is
just got
yeah,
here
and-
when it was already done.
April
So you
20th
don't
is
know old
before
website.
I even started visiting the UHCL website to start doing my
Wasn't even a twinkle
stuff.
in your eye.
Yeah. So I'm quite curious. What was the website like before?
Oh, attractive wise, it was horrid. It was like this gold, just.
A lot of blue and yellow.
It was
A lot of blue and yellow.
a
We
But
lot of
yellow isn't a color of ours.
It was like
It
a
kind of
golden yellow.
was. It kind of was a color of ours, though.
Yeah, it was.
Unofficially, anyway.
It was
It's the
in
color
there.
of Hunter's beak. So, did you ever hear about who our mascot was prior to the hawk?
The blocky guy?
Yeah, Blocky. So that's a good description for the website. Blocky as a mascot equal to website prior to new one, right? So Hunter the Hawk is he's fresh and he's attractive and he's fun to draw. But man, there's a lot of like superficial facade going on. The website is basically just a reskinned version of every other University of Houston website,
Yeah.
with the downside of they may have changed the front paneling of the house, but there's still a lot of black mold and like termites and
That's like the greatest description.
yeah, it's a new paint job and there's a lot of dead links. There are so many
And
dead
there are
links.
things buried within links within links within links.
God.
Like if you're trying to find the Signal and you didn't know our web address, which is uhclsignal.com,
Yeah.
you would have to dig through at least like 7 pages just to find ours, and it's
I didn't know that.
Oh.
I mean, I guess since I'm part of the Signal, whenever I go on the internet, like to
Yeah.
our site, I
Yeah.
go on it through Facebook, or I literally type in UHCL the Signal
Yeah.
and go to it.
It's also almost impossible to like find either the bio for anyone working here or contact info that's up to date. There's just so many dead links and people who don't work here anymore, and it's
Well, I think okay. First of all, I just want to say I honestly go on the Signal's website more than I do UHCL's website. But
that's a good endorsement.
when
Yeah,
I
it is.
do go, everyone go to the Signal's website, not UHCL's. But
have
anyway,
everything you need.
when I go to UHCL's site, I either go to access e-services,
Mm-hmm.
Blackboard, or webmail.
Yeah.
And as far as going to that, I have no problem with that. But I don't really use the website for anything else, like news. Hello, Signal. I go to the
Yeah.
Signal, and if I want to look up a professor, I look them up just on Google.
Right?
Yeah.
So I personally don't look at the site
What's
enough.
interesting is in our survey we asked that question if people use Google more or they use the in-house pretty much search bar that's in the website, and majority use Google.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about it is that if you use the search within the website, it pops up results by Google.
Yeah.
So
It's-
you're using Google, so the website is still relying on Google to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, I've tried to find contact info for people who work at the school via our school's website when writing stories. And, man, I usually end up just going to LinkedIn and, like, reopening my account so I can find those people there because it's just bad. And I know faculty are really... I feel like the school doesn't talk to its own faculty enough when it comes to like asking how things are going. Because it's like, so here's like, the new website. What do you students think? And it's the faculty who end up using the website.
I remember when we talked about this back when they first launched, it was like out of the freaking blue. They put
there
it
was
up
no
there.
pretext.
And then it was like this big old red banner on the top that's like, by the way, there's broken links. Even though the banner's gone now, it's still, the problems are there.
Yeah.
And so it didn't make much of a difference.
No, it's not.
To be fair, honestly, maybe it's just me because of my freshman trying to apply to college experience, but I personally don't like a lot of college websites because their websites are so complicated. Like, if you think UHCL's is bad, like, what was that college? Check out UT Austin's or some other college, because just trying to look up their standards, it's freaking hard. These college websites really need to be more clear. Yeah. And honestly, I'm a bit surprised that UHCL's is more clear than some others. But
so was
the choice clear?
Hey, Clear Lake.
No, but the old website had two major issues with it. One was no unified calendar whatsoever, no calendar of events covering the events going on campus. And to be fair, a lot of those get posted last minute anyway. So the review, I can only imagine what that would look like. But two, it wasn't pretty, but at the end of the day, I could find out basically the entire undergrad catalog and graduate catalog right there from the home screen. I could find out the information for every professor right from the home screen. I could find out everything as far as clubs and organizations right from the home screen. Now, sometimes I can't even find the webmail link. Like, I feel like it just disappears sometimes.
Really?
I've been doing this for a long time. All right, I'm on this website at least once a day. Going through stuff and e-services and everything.
You wrote a whole article about emails.
I did. I wrote an entire article about how to check your email because the old website was terrible at it, and the new website just doesn't even have those kinds of resources.
I thought you click on this little sidebar and it shows everything.
Well, I also wrote an article on how to clean up your...
Yeah, it was like how to...
Also, I hate mobile-designed websites on a desktop computer. That's really a me thing, because if a website is built for touchscreens, which is neat, this one feels like it was built for something in between a touchscreen and a desktop computer.
Well, I have heard that with the new site, it works better on mobile than the old site did. Yeah. So there's that benefit.
Yeah, I'm quite amazed at how easy it is for me to access the site on my phone. Like, even checking my email on my phone, actually just in Safari, I'm like, why am I not getting frustrated here?
Why am I not getting frustrated?
What's going on? This is I'm having too much ease with this. Wow.
I prefer the updates to the back end, like e-services and Outlook. I prefer those updates. The basic information seems to have gotten lost in ease of access.
So what would be some things that you would want to see updated or added or removed from the current UHCL website?
I think we should go to a weekly paper newsletter that gets sent to us in the mail, and attached is a postcard with hole punches. And you punch out the options that you want, you send it in, and then your results come back to you in the mail. Let's just go back to the Pony Express.
Let's just go back.
We'll have ticker tape.
I just watched Godless. I mean, I'm here for it.
I love Godless, by the way.
You watched it?
Oh my God, it's so good.
Somebody else in this office finally watched it.
High five.
Yes.
Oh yes, it's so good.
Oh my
Netflix
freaking God.
made a Western, and it's really good.
It was so good. I don't even like Westerns, and I just
I love Westerns, and it was really good.
I was like, oh my God, this is so good. Anyways, back to topic.
The UHCL website should just become a fan page for Godless.
Yes.
And we should get season 2 going.
There you go.
I think we should just forget the UHCL website. Go to the Signals website, for Pete's sake. A lot more interesting stuff.
We could...
We're the best hype man for us. I love it.
I think institutions that are open to criticism and are honestly open criticism and honestly open to review should support their school newspapers, because we interact with our students more than they do sometimes. We definitely interact with the faculty and staff more.
Yes, I'm interviewing 2 a week.
So, if you want to improve anything, talk to the humans and then ask what the website should do.
Are you saying the people who make the website aren't human?
No, I'm saying that there's a massive communication disconnect between the two of us. And I've spoken to people. Yes, there is a disconnect. No names, but
Communication breakdown.
Well, speaking of breakdown, it's time for quick take. So we get 10 minutes to talk about these 4 quick topics, about 2.5 minutes each. So the first one is Billy Bush. Last Friday, former Today Show co-anchor Billy Bush penned an op-ed with the New York Times reiterating it was President Trump's voice on the infamously leaked Access Hollywood tape from 2005, in which Trump made crude comments about women. The tape was released in October 2016, and Trump stated at the time that, quote, "I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize," end quote. So my question is, does Billy Bush's op-ed do anything besides bring up back the reminder that President Trump made these crude comments? Does it? What does it do?
I've been hearing about it a lot, and the one thing that confused me, like, so he's just saying yes, that was Trump on the thing.
So Trump was saying that wasn't me. He's been
he was
apparently.
I thought he admitted.
Yeah, he's apparently been backsliding.
Yeah, he's been saying that wasn't my voice on the tape.
Yeah.
I didn't actually say that, which is weird because why would you apologize for something that's not your voice?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But he is the oldest president we've had in recent history, so maybe he's just a little forgetful. But no, I think
Senile.
there are. Thank you. Subtle. I think there are 3 major takeaway points from this. The first is, that Trump is trying to back rail on this. If that is in fact true, that he is trying to back rail, he may or may not. If he comes out publicly and says, no, I wasn't trying to, roll back on that, okay, cool. Second, we should remember that our president said this, whether or not it was prior to him being in office, because 3, we have now had at least one senator now resign because of sexual harassment. And Al Franken is being called on to resign now, who has previously been a great representative. But if you sexually abuse women, you're not a very good representative of half the country.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So I think that leads to yet another question regarding the man that we chose to be in office. If we're willing to get rid of, senators and congressmen for sexual assault.
Speaking of people in power, on November 15th, UHCL President Ira Blake gave her 100th day address and noted the progress of the university. After inheriting a deficit of over $12 million and making decisions in regards to Hurricane Harvey less than a month into her presidency, Blake stated UHCL can become, quote, the university of choice within our region and beyond. So, what are your thoughts on President Blake's first semester in her position so far?
Well, as a quote-unquote smoker, I mean, I vape, but, tabling that issue was
Can we
really
talk
nice.
about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
she tabled it. She realized that there was almost no student representation in that decision, and it's mostly students who are out there smoking or vaping. And due to that, it should be tabled for review. And you know what? Good. If you're coming into office and you're seeing that things aren't the way they're supposed to be, you should be able to hit pause on that and be able to make a decision when you have the ability to actually have student representation.
Yeah. And I'd say within this first semester, I got the chance to meet her. She's really nice lady.
Super
She is always around, and I love that about her. I love that. I think within this one semester, I've seen her more times than I ever saw William Staples, or the former president.
Yeah.
He's a former UHCL president. Than I ever saw him within the 2-3 years that I was here.
Yeah.
So I like that she's very involved with the different organizations and just UHCL in general.
She has a very my door is always open policy, and speaking with people who have had issues and have gone to the school, the administration, and tried to work out those issues through the proper chain of command, at a certain point, you run out of options and you have to look at going to the president of the university. And you know what? This was maybe like 3 or 4 weeks into her being officially the president, and her door was open. She was in the middle of several meetings that day, and she heard the student's complaint, and she stepped out and handled it. And the issue was solved. And that's very respectable. I like how she is treating students.
Yeah, I think that UHCL is definitely in good hands with her, and like I listened to her, address and everything, and I was quite impressed with how she, really addressed things well, and just she's very well spoken, and I really feel like she's very passionate and caring about this school that she's come to and stuff. And she even said she's an outsider, so I think that part of her being so considerate comes from the fact that she has come to a place that's kind of new to her, and therefore, she might want to, really make a difference.
We might
Super
need to get
educated.
her on this podcast at some point.
Dude, that'd be so cool.
Yes.
We might need to do that. But moving on real quick,
Yes.
Facebook just released a new messenger app that's designed for ages 6 through 12. The account is free, but it must be validated through the parents' Facebook. Amidst privacy concerns, Facebook has stated the app is compliant with the Children's Online Privacy and Protection Act, which is a federal law protecting underage children from exploitation online. Now, the question is a social media app designed for ages 6 through 12 a good idea? I would think not.
Okay, I had the exact same thoughts, like all this sighing and everything that we're doing. That's exactly what I thought. But I think that one thing I can say that's good about it is I like that they are trying to make some kind of social media that is for children. 'Cause-
Kindergarten?
okay, flawed, but hear me out. To be fair, there are many social medias most social medias out there are pretty adult oriented, to where even if a kid makes one and only has his friends as his followers or whatever, they're gonna get exposed to some pretty bad content that might scar them for life and turn them into these bad kids we have to deal with these days.
At what point does a child no longer come in contact with something negative and it doesn't scar them for life?
True.
Can adults be scarred for life?
True. But I mean, it might change them and stuff. So I get their intent, but what you just said is, kind of a testament to,
I've met
is
adults that
really-
were sheltered very heavily, and I got to tell you, they were in for a shock the first time they rode public transportation.
Well, yeah. But again, I can see why they would have done it, but, I still am thinking, is this a good idea? I mean...
It's interesting, but you know what else is interesting? The Signal is putting together a list of 10 most fascinating people of UHCL of 2017. Some of the things being taken into account include the impact on the UHCL community, notable achievements, and other inspirational qualities. So my question to you guys is, what makes someone fascinating, and who would you recommend?
Well, that's hard for me because I have come to a college that's pretty filled with interesting people I wish I knew in high school. I mean, heck, everyone in this room right now, I wish I could have known you all sooner in my lives. Don't get cocky.
I'm touched, but you should not have known me in high school.
Okay.
I would not recommend me in high school. Me now? Yeah, it's fine.
Me now.
I've heard of
Me
it.
now is cool. 17-year-old Trey was... Nah.
Well... there are
But I
just so many.
appreciate
You're welcome. There are just a lot of fascinating people. It'd be hard for me to think of one.
So yeah, that was it for Quick Take, and that's it for this episode of The Signal. This has
season.
been an awesome journey. Season 4 will premiere in January 2018. But also a quick shout out to the former panelists who have all kind of moved on or will be moving on because they've graduated, they're out living their lives, but have really contributed this year to the podcast. Sam Savell, our former online editor, Lindsay Floyd, our former audience engagement editor, Leaf Heyman, he's graduating this semester. Wasn't here today.
Awesome
really?
guy.
He's gonna be graduating.
Oh, he's graduating?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Crystal Salceda, she left us in the summer. She's a former Backpage reporter.
Crystal was cool.
Crystal was awesome. Anna Claiborne, she was another reporter for us that left us over the summer. And then Jeremy Gingrich.
No, not Jeremy. Oh,
Don't fret, guys. You can still hear Jeremy's very intriguing opinions on the Sports Talk podcast, which will be coming out later this month. Also, we have 2 new podcasts, which is one of them is Sports Talk, but also Signal Popcast. So be sure to check that out. It'll be coming out soon.
I'm on it.
Yes, Troylon is on it.
You'll probably never find me on it, but,
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's entertaining. But for more reporting, head to UHCLthesignal.com. Like us on Facebook, our Signal Soundbytes Facebook page. If you have any comments or suggestions, email us at signalsoundbytes@UHCLthesignal.com.
Check us out.